I think it's time. I think it's time I share my thoughts on what's happening with the DCEU. What James Gunn announced, my thoughts on it. The last time I discussed something of DC and James Gunn, I was very angry. James Gunn's writing the new Superman film. Why couldn't you write Man of Steel 2? Why couldn't you come in and be like, you know what, I'm going to write this to make sure it goes the way people want, because this is what people want. Very upset. And, I've calmed down. It's been almost 2 months since, after I ranted about what they did to Henry Cavill. I stand by everything I've said. But I think, at the end of the day, I'm a DC fan, and I'm gonna go watch it, whatever comes out. I know a lot of you have, said you're not supporting DC no more. You're not gonna watch whatever James Gunn does, and that's up to everybody's decision whether you want to watch something or not. I'm gonna go still see Superman Legacy, which is the name of the solo Superman film coming out in 2025. Because at the end of the day, I love the Superman character. I'm still upset and angry in regards to what they did to Henry, how they went about things. I'm upset, but I'm going to kind of put that behind me right now so we can discuss the announcement James Gunn made about 2-3 days ago, and something I was reading this morning that he said in response to somebody. So James Gunn announced that essentially it's going to be divided into chapters. You know how Marvel does their phases, phase 1, phase 2. They're doing chapters, and chapter 1 will be Gods and Monsters. I already like that name. I can tell you, I think that's a pretty dope name to go with. And when you see some of these movies, it kind of makes sense why it's called Gods and Monsters, because some of these things caught me completely off guard. So movie-wise, he announced Superman Legacy. He talked about this a little bit. Younger Superman, focus on reporting. I already ranted about that, no Henry. But like I said, I'm going to put that rant to the side. And let's just look at this. Superman Legacy is releases that has a release date of July 11, 2025. It's a Friday. It's like after 4th of July, a week later or so. So that kind of makes sense for the Superman character. So we have about 2 years and a half before we see Superman in the theater. We haven't seen Superman in a theater. Well, a movie starting Superman in a theater since 2017's Joss Whedon Justice League. Right, because he had a cameo in Black Adam, but him being a star, that was the last time he was a star in a movie. So we're talking that as a star of a film, 2017 to 2025 is an 8-year gap from Henry Cavill's last starring appearance to the new Superman movie. So we got Superman Legacy. We got The Brave and the Bold. I expected a Batman movie to be announced here. It's Batman, right? You can't really start any universe without Superman and Batman. They're kind of, the two that you need. And it's The Brave and the Bold, and that's the part that caught me off guard, because the movie will be about Batman and Damian Wayne's Robin. So that obviously implies Talia in the League and all that. That's all great. I am very excited. Alright, we haven't really seen a Batman and Robin film. A good one anyway. I fucking hate Batman and Robin. I fucking despise that film. I feel like that movie's a fucking disgrace to the Batman character, and especially to the saga that it was a part of, which included Batman 1989 and Batman Returns. I think Batman Forever's not too bad. I don't hate that one. So to go with Brave and the Bold, Batman, Robin, Damian Wayne, I feel like that's a pretty good move. I do like that. I honestly, that caught me off guard. Like I said, I expected a Batman film. Didn't expect this to be the Batman film. So one thing that completely just blindsided me, he announced a Swamp Thing movie, and I guess it's supposed to be like a horror type movie. Did not expect this. Did not expect Swamp Thing at all. I wonder if this would even do good at the movie theater. I mean, that'll be interesting. I'm not gonna tell you that I'm like the biggest fan of Swamp Thing in the world. I don't know much about Swamp Thing. I can tell you I watched a television show the TV show of Swamp Thing, and I thought that show was phenomenal. It's a shame it fucking got canceled. It's a shame it ended on a cliffhanger. That shit pissed me off, and I always wanted a second season, and I always hoped somebody would revive it, bring it back, and then it aired on TV. I'm like, this might be good. So I can officially, with this announcement, put that to bed. We're never gonna get a second season of that. It is what it is. So a Swamp Thing film, if I base it on what I thought of that TV show was fucking fantastic. And if you've never seen that show, you definitely should watch it if you're a DC fan. I personally love Swamp Thing. I thought that shit was phenomenal. So a movie of that caliber, sign me up. I'm excited. The Authority, it's another film he announced. I don't really know much about that. I don't even know what to really expect. He gave a few details. I'm not even going to touch on that. I don't know really much of anything of The Authority. And then the last film he announced was Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Blindsided me here. I did not expect Supergirl to get a film. I am not against this. I feel like it's not a bad idea giving Supergirl her own film and then crossing her over with Superman at some point. I feel like that's actually the best way to go about it. 2 separate movies versus 1 movie of Superman dealing with Kara. I respect this. I like this. He touched a little bit upon the comic that he's borrowing from for her story. And I feel like that, what he said, I'm interested. I guess this Supergirl is not your typical Supergirl. She's seen some horrible things. She's been living on a piece of Krypton, watched everybody die and whatnot. I feel like that, the way he explained it, you know what, I'm excited. I feel like Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow could be great. Again, if we base it on the Supergirl movie from back in the day, then we would expect disappointment. But I am a fan of the Supergirl TV show for the most part. At times it can be a little annoying, but I would say I'm a fan of the Supergirl TV show. I like the show. So if they can take some of that into the movie but make it better, and with the plot he mentioned, kind of on that, I feel like Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow could be really, really fucking good. And I like this. So without counting The Authority, which I don't really know much of anything about, Swamp Thing is great. The Brave and the Bold is great. I think Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow could be great. Superman Legacy, obviously it upsets me because there's no Henry Cavill. But, I'm going to be optimistic and I'm going to go watch it. I'm going to be there day one. I'm going to check this out. And at the end of the day, I'm a fan of Superman and I expect and hope for a good movie. I'm not going to walk in there and hope, this guy better be better than Henry Cavill. I'm just going to go and watch it and hope that it's good. He also talked about some TV shows. Waller, which obviously is Amanda Waller. Then he gave information about the season 2 of Peacemakers on hold because they're working on Waller. Not sure how I feel about that, but whatever. Because there's no season 2 of Peacemaker mentioned in any of this. So Waller's one. With Viola Davis returning. Alright, so I know a lot of us were upset because they fired Henry. Or according to him, they didn't fire Henry. Henry was never hired. Which I guess is a fair statement. So Viola Davis is reprising her role as Amanda Waller. I don't hate Viola Davis at all. I think she's been an amazing Amanda Waller. I think that role she has nailed. I feel like she plays that bitch character real well, unlikable. I feel like, Viola Davis was born for that part. A TV show about her, I don't know how I feel about, but I will definitely check it out. I don't know how I feel about it, but we could go sit down and watch it and it might be great. Who the fuck knows? So another show he announced was The Lanterns. We've known there's been some sort of Green Lantern TV show for a while, and for years now, and nothing came of it. At one point they announced it for a movie of 2020. And obviously that came and went. And it'll have both Hal Jordan and I can't think of his other name. Jon Stewart. So it'll have both Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan. I feel like that's pretty good. Then he has Creature Commandos. That's an animated TV show. And I don't know how I feel about animated movies or TV shows being included into this universe, because this universe will be a big universe in which live action, animation, TV shows, and gaming will all connect. that aspect, I'm okay with the shows and the movies, animation and video games. I don't know. DC is king when it comes to making DC animation, whether it's animated movies, animated TV shows, Batman Beyond, the animated series, Batman Under the Red Hood, the Wonder Woman movie. Like, there are countless and countless and countless amazing TV shows and movies of DC animation. When it comes to that aspect, I don't ever want to hear anybody say Marvel's better, because Marvel does not do better animation than DC. If you say, obviously the MCU is a juggernaut of how to do a saga and a universe, but when it comes to animation, DC has been on top for a very, very long time. That being said, I don't know how I feel about it connecting to the live action stuff, because he talked about having one actor, like, if you're cast as Superman for the movie, you'll play Superman in animation, you'll play Superman in video games. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think that's a good idea, but maybe he'll prove me wrong. Then we also have Booster Gold, which is interesting. I would think Chris Pratt would probably play a good Booster Gold. I think that would be good. That's a TV show. I think that could be really good. If not Hal Jordan, Chris Pratt, Hal Jordan, Booster Gold, whichever. And Paradise Lost, which is about Themyscira, and I guess this is before Wonder Woman. And he described it as a Game of Thrones style TV show. I feel like that could be good. When you say Game of Thrones style, I'm already on board. I love Game of Thrones. So here, wise, the only thing is, Waller, like I said, I'm okay. Viola Davis returning. I think she's amazing in the part. Her having a TV show, I don't know how I feel about it. I like her in the Suicide Squad and the projects like that. But for her to be the front and focus, I don't know. We'll see. I'm willing to give it a shot. So yeah. So overall, TV show wise, I'm okay with. He also, even though it has nothing to do with it, the Batman sequel is gonna be called The Batman Part 2, and it'll come out October 3, 2025. I'm okay with that title, Batman Part 2. I'm okay. So that's funny, because that movie comes out about 3 months after Superman Legacy. And the interesting part is, right, he announced the Brave and the Bold movie for Batman and Damian Wayne. The Batman trilogy will continue, because he explained, and I like that they're doing this. They've done this before in comics and stuff, but I like that they're doing it for us here in movies. Movies like The Batman and Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, those movies will exist under the DC Elseworlds banner. And he says they will make sure people understand that. I like that, because Marvel has everything. Marvel does MCU, and that's great. The MCU is in a juggernaut that's been a great ride, but I think the idea of having things that don't necessarily go into the universe is a good one, because there are stories out there you could tell that don't have to be part of a cinematic universe. I loved the Joker film. I fucking loved the Joker film. And that movie only exists because it's an Elseworld story. If you would have based it on the universe alone, it would have been Jared Leto. And I don't have anything against Jared Leto. I don't hate him like everybody else does. He is my least favorite live action Joker, though. But, so that idea is a good idea. And, this, at the end of the day, this is the multiverse. So it's okay. So everything here will have one or two things. It'll be Elseworld, or it'll be DCU. So I'm okay with that. So, like I said, and he also said this is not everything for Chapter 1. So he announces 10 things here. 5 movies, 5 TV shows, and it's not everything. So how long this chapter, I was especially Fates, like this is Marvel, will be, I don't know. Will there be 10 more, 5 more shows, and 5 more movies? I don't know. But we know this starts 2025. Now, what's interesting is when he was describing certain things, as he said, they were lucky with the next 4 films, in which this is to me the most important, interesting part, right? When I ranted, I said how the DCEU is dead and all that. And for all this time, I've been upset, because I'm like, so these next 4 films, Shazam, Flash, Blue Beetle, and Aquaman, no longer fucking matter. They don't matter, because once the new Superman show comes out, the Superman movie, Superman Legacy, comes out. It's all for nothing because after Aquaman, whatever cliffhanger or whatever, we'll never see these characters again, and we move on, and people are gonna get recast because once Henry was kind of not hired or fired, however you want to look at it, it's been over this like what? Like okay, we're starting from scratch. But then you read reports of, Gal Gadot might stay. Jason Momoa said he'll stay. Zachary Levi said he's kind of hoping he comes back. Viola Davis, we know, is coming back. And that created some confusion for me and many others. Like, how is this going to work? Because Viola Davis having a show, but she exists in the DCEU because Suicide Squad and the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker are all in the DCEU. So how's Waller in the DCEU? Is it the same one? Is it not the same one? Is she playing? There was all these questions into which he actually responded. So somebody asked, and they said, James, I'm seriously confused. How is Viola Davis still playing Amanda Waller? Aren't you rebooting the DCU 100%? That includes Peacemaker, the whole Suicide Squad, and the Snyderverse. Like you said, Robert Pattinson's Batman and Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is also stories. And James Gunn replied to him. And this is kind of where I feel a little better. Nope. Flash resets many things. Not all of the things. Some characters remain the same. Some do not. This is James Gunn himself. And that's where I feel a little better. Because taking that comment into account, and taking what he said in this presentation video, in which he said Shazam, when he talked about how lucky they were about the next 4 films, he's like, Shazam has always been kind of its own thing. He's not wrong. Shazam has a Superman cameo of a faceless Superman. Technically, that movie could be taken out of the DCU, right? I thought to myself, and plugged here, because that could be the Superman from Superman Legacy, because he doesn't have a face. Whatever. And then he's like, then the Flash comes out. And the Flash will reset things, everything. Flash resets Blue Beetle. It's its own thing. And he says Aquaman will lead into Superman Legacy. That was said in the presentation left me with questions. Aquaman will lead into Superman Legacy. And then with his comment saying here that I just read to you all about how it will reset some things, not everything. Some characters remain the same, some do not. It resets many things, not all things. Which means I feel that it's where I feel a little better, because technically that means that the DCU is not dead itself. It's being rebooted and changed like in comics. And it means that once the Flash comes out, however the Flash ends, it's clearly going to reset things based on his comments. Things will be reset and a new timeline or a new universe will be established, in which some actors will be able to play the same characters and some do not. I'm still upset. I'm very angry that Henry's not returning, but all these other people might. Viola Davis is coming back. Ezra Miller's a question mark. Jason Momoa is coming back. He says they've spoken to Gal Gadot and she's down, so they just gotta come up with a project or something. So it almost felt like, whoa, like everybody's coming back, but what? But Henry. That aside, that means that the DCU is just being transformed. And if you look at his comment of Aquaman will lead into Superman, that means technically a new viewer could just start the universe, let's say with Superman Legacy, and start their DCU journey. But it also means that if you're like me and you are a fan of the current DCEU, it means it's still technically a part of it. It means the DCU will still live on in this universe. Why? Because even if you go through this journey to the DCU, the journey there was in the Flash, which is part of the current continuity before, things get reset. That means you could watch Man of Steel, BVS, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, Justice League, Shazam, Aquaman, Birds of Prey, The Suicide Squad, Shazam 2, Aquaman 2, Blue Beetle. You can watch it all and then watch that reset and continue your journey in the DCU with Superman Legacy, the Batman Brave and the Bold. And that's why I'm a little bit more in peace. Because I was under the impression, based on previous comments and the confusion and everything he was saying, it almost felt like, well, when Aquaman's over, everything's being dropped and we're starting from scratch. But that doesn't seem to be the case. It seems like, Flash resets many things. Not all things. Some characters remain the same, some do not. That means he is just essentially cherry picking what he wants to retain. Jason Momoa's Aquaman brings in money. People love him. People like the movie he was in. Why do we not keep him? Because at the end of the day, as of right now, Aquaman is still the most successful DCEU film, bringing $1 billion. So why wouldn't you want to keep Jason Momoa's Aquaman? So he cherry picked him. And it's a way of, even though things reset, you could still technically, let's say if we have Aquaman, a third Aquaman film, and while it might not be a direct sequel to Aquaman 1 or 2, they're still part of that continuity for the character before the reset. So the journey is still there, before things get reset. And that's why now I've relaxed a lot more. Because the DCU is not being killed. The DCU is being transformed. I can still go watch Man of Steel with Henry Cavill and BVS with Henry Cavill. And I can still watch those films. And even though the Black Adam post credit scene is still there, and it still pisses me off, and it's still fucking... Remember what I said, Brian. Remember what you said. Even though that's just still there, and he'll be out, he's still part of that journey. God damn it. So I am in a better place with DC right now. So I am excited. There is a lot here to look forward to. Lanterns, Booster Gold, Swamp Thing, Supergirl, The Brave and the Bold. I'll be optimistic about Superman Legacy. I love Superman. He's my second favorite hero after Batman. Batman and Superman, to me, they're just, they're special to me. Those are special characters to me. So I just, Superman Legacy, I just hope it's good. I hope that I can sit there and start that new version of the universe and say, okay, we're on the right track. Let's keep the momentum going. And to know that technically, Man of Steel was a part of that journey makes me feel a little better. Like I said, it's almost being made like, if you want to start with Superman Legacy, you could. It's our new universe. It's what's going on. But if you're like me, it means that you really should watch Flash to watch the reset happen. And I'm assuming Flash will end in a way where things, get removed, and maybe we'll see a scene of past DCU events being erased. To do it proper, if you're going to do that. Because the Flash, Ezra Miller has been kind of going nuts. He just has lost his mind, or somebody will tell me Day real soon. Oh, Day. I think he's something else. But that, Ezra's crazy stuff aside, the movie can be good. I mean, fuck, you have a movie with Michael Keaton's Batman. You have a movie with Ben Affleck's Batman. We know General Zod's in the film. Wonder Woman's supposed to be in the film. I mean, there's a Funko of her that leaked in the back picture of the movie. So, I mean, how big of a role, who knows? But God got those in it. Like, there's stuff in there. And then he himself, James Gunn, said that the movie is a movie. One of the greatest superhero movies. So, and it's James Gunn saying that. I'm going to try to take his word on it. Because, I mean, it's... If he's saying it, I mean... Did he say that about Shazam or Aquaman? No, I don't think he did. So, we'll see. The Flash, extra nonsense aside, can be good. I'm sure. And if you're gonna reset, it's just a fucking shame that Henry Cavill's not in this one. Like, I love that Ben Affleck is in this Flash movie, because then if this is a reset, and then I see the new Batman will be the one whoever gets cast for the Brave and the Bold, this is the Ben Affleck goodbye. Now it's interesting because at one point they announced that Ben Affleck was in Aquaman 2, but Aquaman 2 now takes place after the reset. So I highly doubt that's still the case. That's probably been deleted, whatever he did. And maybe be in a deleted scene in the special features. I hope so, to at least check that out. But, if we're going to be able to say goodbye to Ben Affleck in The Flash, it'd be nice to say back to Henry Superman as well. Especially when you have General Zod in that film and you have Supergirl. Like, how can you not have Superman, but you have Supergirl and General Zod, Let us at least say goodbye to him. Instead of Black Adam, we need to talk, and that's our goodbye, because now he was deleted. That means nothing happened after that, because Black Adam, we need to talk. And right there, they got fucking deleted from the conversation. They never got to talk. So, guys, those are my thoughts in what's happening here. The new DCU. The DCU transform. That's what I'm just going to go with. The DCU is not that. The DCU is transform. It's me personally, now knowing this, that the Flash is an important piece to this puzzle. Knowing that makes me feel better, because knowing that movie is a DCU movie, and that means that the DCU doesn't necessarily 100% doesn't matter anymore, because certain things are being plucked from it. I'm hoping like Margot Robbie stays as Harley Quinn. I fucking love Margot Robbie, and I love her portrayal of Harley. So like that's something I hope that he does keep. So, and it's like, she has Birds of Prey, which I thought it's a great movie. She's in the Suicide Squad. She's in Suicide Squad. So I was like, there's the DCU will live through these people. Some of Zack Snyder's work will live through these people, like Jason Momoa and Gal Gadot. These people were casted by Zack Snyder, So even Zack Snyder, as to a degree, lives on through this new universe, and so that really is what kind of changed me into my thinking. Because I was so angry. I'm like, the DCU is fucking dead and nothing matters, and these 4 movies don't matter, and no matter what the Flash happens, and no matter what Aquaman happens, none of these things will get resolved. But the way I'm just gonna look at it now is every cliffhanger that we got, and God knows there's a few of them, never really continued or happened because they got deleted. I'm just gonna go with that. Like I said, Black Adam, we need to talk. We should build a league of our own. I'm just gonna look at it like that. It's the only way to look at it, really. And I mean, it's really the only way. Because if not, I'm just gonna be angry and upset. And like I said, certain things can and will continue of the DCU. So it's not 100% over. Whoever comes next to me will have a high bar to set, above them or coming up, because I love Henry Superman, my favorite Superman. Ben Affleck's Batman's fucking awesome. My favorite Batman. Especially the way he was in BVS. Fucking love him. And so, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. Still upset about certain things. Mostly Superman. But Swamp Thing, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, The Brave and the Bold. Oh, there's a lot of good stuff here. So let's see what the future of DC brings us. I mean, I'll be there to watch Shazam when it releases. There's a rumor, leak kind of going on here about Wonder Woman being in Shazam, Gal Gadot. So, hey, she's in it, great. That'd be kind of cool. So, the trailer for The Flash is supposed to premiere during the Super Bowl. If the trailer is something that there's something to talk about, I'll make sure I talk about it, that's for sure. Guys, thank you for watching. If you watched the whole thing, if you didn't, well, peace. Like the video, share the video. Let me know your thoughts. Are you happy with the DCU? Did you never like the DCU and you're happy? Or were you like me that you were upset, but you're coming around the idea? Thanks to some of this information that we have, some things will carry over, some actors will carry over. The DCU, like I said, I'm going to go with that term. The DCU is not dead. The DCU has changed to the DCU. This is the one and only Brian Redgrave. Redgrave out.